Today is the first day of the rest of our lives.
All of you guys are fooling yourselves.
They yap, they yap, they yap, they yap.
I am winning this league starting this week. It all starts this week. First, we have the biggest waiver wire of the year. Our waiver wire has been locked since our fantasy draft, which is 2 weeks ago. So now we are going to have an absolute frenzy happening on Monday because I don't have a kicker. I don't have a defense. A lot of other people in this league don't either. So they're going to have to be dropping good players, good running backs, and picking up some garbage DSTs and kickers. And the second thing is the matchups this week are personal. You have every creator going up against their channel mate. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't know anything about defensive players the way that I do because I'm an overall expert, of course. But this guy, his name was Micah Parsons. Danny, I don't know if you know who this is, but he was actually a pretty good player for the Cowboys back in the day. Some people would say actually the best player on the Dallas Cowboys roster. And now that he is a Green Bay Packer, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that the Packers, they're going to be able to win some football games. They're going to be able to run the ball. And you know who that's going to benefit? Ooh, is that Mr. Josh Jacobs? I believe that it is. I believe that he is on my squad and he's not on yours anymore. And Micah Parsons is no longer on the Dallas Cowboys either. Team of Destiny 1, the Ladster 0.
So yeah, I'm a Penn State alumni. I'm technically a Packers fan, although hot take, I don't think the regular season matters in terms of fandom all that much. It's like playoffs or bust. But anyways, I'm just sitting here minding my own business, and Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. Awesome. We love that. We love that as, again, a fan of the team. But I got all of my joy from that trade simply out of the fact that I know Danny is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and the moment that notification hit his phone, I know he was in a puddle of not just his sweat, but also a puddle of his own tears. Heartbreaking day for Danny. The season hasn't even started and this guy's down bad. 0 for 3 on the trades, in my opinion. Lost the best player on his favorite team. It's going to be a tough season for Danny Ladd.
Hello? Who's this? Brian Gundekoont? Brian, did we go to Boy Scouts together? Oh, the Green Bay, the Packers? The Green Bay Packers? Okay. Okay, you want Micah, hold on, give me 1 second. What's the boy's name? Micah Parsons. Okay, Brian, I'm looking at him. And you want him with your Green Bay's Packers. Okay. Eugenia, the meatloaf is burning, Eugenia. Tell you what, why don't you give me 2 tickets to the Entourage on Ice, and we'll go ahead and send them your way. Good doing business with you. You said Brian? What a dumb. Eugenia, you're not gonna believe it. We're going to the Entourage on Ice. Get your things.
Jalen Coker officially placed on IR with a quad injury. Very sad news. I was getting extremely excited for Jalen Coker.
Oh, this is justice. So Danny was artificially boosting his team up in the My Team's power rankings by going through and making the most ridiculous ranking update changes. This dude's trying to say that Loveland is the 69th best player in fantasy football. He's trying to say that Jalen Coker is the 89th. He was trying to come through and tell us that Drake London's a round 1 pick now. And you know what just happens? He tempts the fantasy football gods by arguing you should have Jalen Coker ahead of freaking Mark Andrews. And we are clowning on him in the chat already, right? Do not tempt the fantasy gods. I cannot wait to nuke this dude in my rankings. And I can't wait for you to fall back down to My Team's page where you belong, Danny Ladd.
I can't wait for the day that we all sit around together and we laugh about that time that Danny decided to rank Jalen Coker as an 8th round fantasy pick. Come to think about it, we're already laughing about that time that Danny decided to rank Jalen Coker as an 8th round fantasy pick.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these fools are excited about the waiver wire. The issue is I have too many good players on my team. I don't know who to cut. So here are the submissions that I'm putting in for the waiver wire. I know we're going to drop Kareem Hunt. We need a DST. Here are my top options in order on waivers. We're going to get at least one of these, I'd imagine. Hopefully I get the cards.
All right, we've got waivers set to run here in a few minutes, and I'm looking at my team, and I literally don't know who I'm going to drop. I can't drop Ollie Gordon. I don't really want to drop Woody Marks yet. I don't really want to drop Najee yet. I can't drop Michael Pittman. I can't drop Rashad White, and so looks like I'm going to have to cut Efton Chisholm for a defense. In terms of our waiver priorities for this week, we drafted so well. We were so good in the draft that I don't know that there was anything that we even needed to do on waivers. So,
all right, first waiver wire of the season in the Flock League, and here's the deal. This league, even though we didn't have a ton of bench spots, like this wasn't an 18 or 20 round draft, it's still a pretty dried up waiver wire. Wide receiver position, I don't really need. There's like Demario Douglas out there. Okay, like maybe goes for a couple of bucks. At the running back position, Dameon Pierce is like appealing, but in this league, I would imagine that he's probably going to go for like $10 week 1 on the waiver wire. Players on my roster that I could actually cut right now, Josh Palmer of the Bills. He's like my wide receiver 6 or 7, and Will Shipley of the Eagles. I'm going to be trying to drop Josh Palmer right now for a defense. I'll be keeping Will Shipley on my roster just to see what happens on Thursday Night Football. Josh Palmer, I'm going to drop. My goal is to get the Cardinals defense. I'm going to put $2 on like 4 different defenses. If I get the Cardinals, great.
Now, growing up as a child, I had a grandpa, and we called him Candy Grandpa. We called him Candy Grandpa because every week he would walk with us to the candy store. We thought it was a candy store. It was actually the gas station. He'd pick up a 40 and he would say, all right, Zach, you have a choice. You can either buy a piece of candy here, or you can save the money and eventually buy the video game that you want. Now, at that time, I really wanted Star Fox for Nintendo, but I had the brain of a 3-year-old. So every single time I chose candy. Now, today I'm an adult, so I can decide to collect my money and keep it for something that I really want later on. That is our plan on the waiver wire, ladies and gentlemen. We have our waiver wire hit list. So step 1 is remain calm. Do not waste your fab. Number 2, I would love the warm embrace of my family. Just a hug. Just from any member. Number 3, love to have a nice family sit down meal at Chili's. And number 4 on our hit list is literally any defense. So I'm not gonna spend fab. That's for damn sure. We will find out what we get here in a second.
Alrighty, so waivers just cleared. I'm looking at them right now, opening it up. This is going to be my first reaction. Have not yet even looked. So let's see what we got here. Starting it off with the highest bid, a $15 bid. Now, let me remind you here, the only like viable, I would say like appealing players on the waiver wire this week, in my opinion, were Dameon Pierce for this league and maybe Chris Rodriguez. Those are probably the most appealing players for this league. Other than that, like Demario Douglas at wide receiver, sure, if you want to throw a buck or two. But in this league, Demario Douglas went for $15 to Badaki. Now, I don't know. I'm actually going to look here and see who Badaki has on his team right now to see if like he maybe needed a wide receiver. So if I go over to the team, the only black dude, aka Badaki, as you can see right here, by the way, that's his team name, and it's his teammate, self-named by himself. You can see here, wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, Devontae Adams. That feels good, but he does have Khalil Shakir, who is coming back from a high ankle sprain. Other than that, his wide receiver position is actually kind of buns. So $15 is a lot. In terms of general waiver wire strategy, the goal is to not blow your load on like the week 2 waivers, the first actual run of the waiver wire, unless there's a legit running back. Badaki blew 15% of his budget on the prior week to that. But here's the problem, in my opinion, with putting $15 in Demario Douglas. First off, nobody else bid on Demario Douglas. So you could have put $0, it seems like, on Demario Douglas and got him. The second thing is, we're going to get so much information after week 1. This is the reason why. Let me actually go down here and see if I ended up getting the defense I wanted. So I ended up getting the Arizona Cardinals defense for $2. It looks like a couple of people put in a $1 bid and then a bunch of people put in a $0 bid. The big thing here though, is we're going to get so much information week 1 that spending a lot of your fab before we get at that information, I think is a mistake. So if we look at the next player here, Dameon Pierce goes for $8. There was only 2 bids on him, one for 0, one for 8. So obviously Bush overpays by $8, but I kind of mentioned it in my previous clip. If you saw that, I think Dameon Pierce in this league was the best available player. So that makes some sense. After that, it's just a bunch of defenses. Chris Rodriguez for $3 is fine. See what that backfield looks like week 1. After that, it's all a bunch of kickers, defenses, backup players. You know, Emmanuel Wilson is fine. Caleb Williams, I don't even think was drafted in this league. Danny picks him up. Okay, that's cool. The problem though, it seems like a lot of people had the same idea as me, not spending a lot. I was hoping that there would be like 2 or 3 other decent sized names on this, like maybe an Ollie Gordon, maybe a Woody Marks, to see if somebody would drop a $30 clip or something like that. I mean, we saw Danny do it last year for like Carson Steele, right? What was that, like 30, 40 bucks he spent on him?
Okay, Carson Steele. Holy shit.
White boys in this league just want to support their own right now with the Carson Steele. 30? Who spent $37? I can't even keep a straight face. Come on, who spent it? Danny spent $37. I was hoping somebody would do that. Seems like this waiver wire, for the most part, pretty boring. I would say that Badaki overpaid. Other than that, just a bunch of kickers and defenses.
Some tough decisions had to be made. Obviously, I went with the route of not drafting a defense or a kicker. So we had to drop Pat Bryant and Roman Wilson, unfortunately. We got the Niners defense. You know, we love the Niners this year here on the fan team. And we got Tampa's kicker. I haven't played with a kicker in like 5 years because my home league is actually serious. So excited for week 1. Badaki must be a prophet with spending $15 on Super Mario Douglas there.
Look, I know I want to talk with the whole Tyler Johnson fiasco last year, but $15 on Demario Douglas Badaki, that's a little bit aggressive, I will say, before the season even starts.
Week 1 last year, we saw the biggest fraud on the waiver wire be Nathan, who spent $37 on Tyler Johnson. You may go, who is that? He was a wide receiver back in the day. Week 1 this year, we see Badaki throw about 20% of his budget on Demario Douglas. I don't know if another person bid on him. I didn't think about doing it for a heartbeat. I mean, now I can go get Rashad Bateman off the waiver wire for free right now. So congrats, Badaki. You're following down Nathan's footsteps. And honestly, those are little tiny footsteps and you got some pretty big feet.
Look, it's never a good feeling when you pick up a player and you drop the most fab in the week. But a guy like Mario Party is going to come into a team that needs a wide receiver, that there's going to be a role for him. Yeah, you may think I'm wasting some fab. It's an investment. So they might be laughing right now. Oh, Badaki spending a lot of money on Demario Douglas with 15 fab. We'll see who's going to be laughing at the end of the day.
I am just waking up here in Sydney, Australia. I've got my laptop right in front of me and I can finally see who we added off the waiver wire. Let's get the beautiful sun in here. So we got the Rams defense. So shout out to the Rams. Overall, we did exactly what we wanted to do with the waiver wire. Just gonna go see if my family is up for a hug.
Yeah, I know. Maybe this year we're gonna need a Mason shirtless clips counter, but you know what we're also gonna need? We're gonna need a Zach wakes up out of bed with a hat on counter, because we haven't even seen a game of football and we've seen 2 clips from Zach where he apparently sleeps with a hat.
All right, we already had 2 separate people already comment on Zach waking up with his hat on. I get it. Zach, I've been in a place where I'm scared. I don't want to be vulnerable to a lot of people, but we're here, we're your friends. And I just want to say, you know what? Let's take the hat off together, huh? I'll be there right by your side if you just want to reveal whatever's underneath that hat. And hey, I understand men in their early 30s start to lose their hair. Maybe we can start a GoFundMe.
I love this GoFundMe idea from Badaki. Let's get it set up. Zach, Nathan, and myself, we are all going to be going to Turkey this offseason. And usually for these hair transplants, I may or may not have talked to a guy about this, but they take the hair from the back of your head and they put it where you're losing it. Here you can see my hairline's absolutely cooked, but I don't want it from the back of my head. I don't want to have the same hair all throughout. What's the point of that? Badaki, if you don't mind, if you could come with us and let them take the donor hair from the back of your head, that way I could have my hair all over, and then just here in the corners where I'm losing it, it's your style hair. I think I would look adorable. I think it would be amazing. And honestly, it could probably help our views.
All right, so part of the draw of Team Unk here is that we use old-timey shit to basically shit on all the Zoomers that are in this league who have absolutely no culture. So Every single week, what we're gonna do is we're going to showcase some unk shit. In this case, the Styx Grand Illusion record here. There's a song on this record called Fooling Yourself. Now, Danny, as my week 1 opponent, you are fooling yourself if you actually think you are going to beat me, and all of you guys are fooling yourselves if you think I'm gonna go away quietly after my embarrassment last season. Come sail away with me, fellas, because we are back for another football season. Let's ride.
We go over to Australia and we look at the land, guys. You have Zach and Badaki going up against each other in a matchup determine who is the top kangaroo.
This is what we all been waiting for. Week 1, the calm before the storm. And this week, in week 1, yours truly is going against his own channel partner. And it's the Land Bowl. That's what we're going to be fighting for this week. It's very simple. We got to come out strong. We have to come out with a W. And we have 3 key things that we want to come off out here with, okay? Number 1 is confidence. If I can spell that right. Number 2, swag. We want to look drippy. We want to look swaggy when we come in. We want to feel good. You look good, you play good. And number 3, this is something that I tell all the boys in the locker room. Let's have fun.
So this week, we have the honor and the privilege to go up against the second best fantasy player in the Flock League, AKA Daniel Cuckoo Badaki. Now, I don't know if you guys remember last year, they say it's hard to beat a team twice. We did that, beat Badaki 2 out of 2 times. What does that mean about trying to beat them 3 times in a row? We're gonna do everything we can to get this team across the line. In fact, I have a motivational speech prepared to get my team in the right mindset. All right, men, gather around. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives. Whether in life or in football, this is a game of inches. And on this team, we fight for every inch. We claw for every inch. We lose our blood, sweat, and tears for every inch. Now, Jake, I'm looking at you. What the hell? Me? You got a chance to start things off right. Same with you, Brandon. You get to set the tone.
now?
You're gonna break your bones for every inch? You're gonna sacrifice everything you can for every inch? Because we know in this game, the inches are what matter. So go out there and give me every inch you got. Do it for Black Batman.
Going over to Indianapolis, we will see Nathan and Avery battle it out. And I know what everybody's thinking. I mean, hell, I got a call from my mom earlier. I went, yeah, Mom, what's up? And she went, hey, Quinshon Judkins and Caleb Johnson in the 5th and 6th round. How's Nathan gonna put a running back 2 into his lineup? I said, I have no idea. The world doesn't know. It's all anybody's talking about at this point.
The time has come for us to begin our defense of our title. Zero Dark Avery, it's time to run it back. And we have to open up the season with not a super tough game, not something I'm sweating about, not anything crazy. No, we play Nathan in week 1. And ultimately, you know, I was gonna fire up Nathan Hate Week again, but I was looking at the comments recently on some of, you know, the videos on this channel and the videos on our channel and the videos on other people's channels. And I actually realized that Nathan Hate Week has actually turned into Nathan Hate Month. We're kicking off this season with an absolute bang by playing Nathan, because Nathan Hate Month has been in full swing since he made the worst draft pick ever televised. So we're gonna look forward to kicking the crap out of Nathan in fantasy football this week.
So it'll be very interesting to see exactly how many points does Nathan Schmidt lose by in this domain matchup. But in reality, we know that they're secretly co-owners and Nathan's just going to trade his team to Avery like he did last year. Then going over to Canada. Typically, Canadians are very nice. However, that is not the case with Bush, where he is convinced somehow, some way that he is still the best fantasy football player in this league, despite last year trading Jackson Smith and Jigba, Bucky Irving, and half his roster for Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, the guy that you saw get dead last. He still thinks he's the best, and he thinks he's going to beat Danny, and he thinks that all of a sudden the tide's going to change and everybody's going to be on his side.
So one of the interesting wrinkles of week 1 is that it's actually my 27th birthday, the first game of the season. Now, I hope, for my sake, that my birthday present is CeeDee Lamb having 3 fantasy points and Danny having a rough time, and you know, the Cowboys losing in the process would be the cherry on top. We have island games all over the place, so there's going to be intrigue for this one. FSC on FSC violence. Hey, we're teammates this year, but it is rivalry week, and I do want to bury you 0-1, so let's get it. Good luck to you, Danny. I really hope you have a great season, but not this week.
Like I was saying, this is a big time pivotal matchup against my channel host. I want to take down Bush. He was able to grab me last year. I can't let that happen again. Now, it did happen after all my injuries and this and that. I'm not going to make excuses. He won last year. He had his best week of the year. That ain't happening again. We're excited. We love the matchup. We love the lineup. Good luck, Corey, but I'm going to be taking you down this week, brother.
And then you may be wondering, well, Mason, you don't have a channel partner. Who are you going to be going up against? That's a good point. I mean, it's hard to find a rival that would be worth this heat. It'd be hard to find a rival that could stay in this kitchen. And I think we found the one guy that possibly could. And it's going to be Mr. Sal Vetri. This is the battle for Austin, Texas. This is the battle to see who knows ball and who spends all his time getting haircuts. Now, in reality, you already know this. I wake up and I'm thinking fantasy football. I'm up until 2 a.m. live streaming, making these videos. You know what Sal's doing? Sal rolls out of bed. He goes over to brunch. He sends out a couple tweets. Maybe he'll make a video of who knows how he's feeling that day. He'll go play some volleyball. He'll go play some pickleball. And maybe 5 to 10% of his day is actually centered around fantasy.
Oh my goodness. We wake up. It's a beautiful morning, and all I have to start my day with is the yap. Mason, I've been doing this my whole life. I'm fantasy football, blah, blah, blah. But we get it. We get it. You stream the fantasy football. We get it. I've been making fantasy football content since you were in high school. Since you were in Chem 110 your freshman year at the University of Texas, right? Here's the deal. You got to put a little bit of leisure in your life as well. It's a beautiful thing when you add some play in there. A volleyball game, might I mention, that is tonight that Mason will not be attending. When you add some play in there, you get clarity. It's all about working smarter, not harder. That's exactly what we're going to do this week. That's exactly what we did in the draft, taking Christian McCaffrey over Saquon Barkley, and that's going to pan out right now in week 1 against Mason. Yap.
I'm going to guarantee everybody that's on the Team of Destiny bandwagon right now, we are starting off 1-0, just like we did last year. I'll be the last undefeated team, and I am winning this league starting this week. Now, going over to the irrelevance, we have the fan playing the devs. Who cares? We also got editor on editor crime. We'll see if they send any clips. Maybe, maybe not. But of course, I'll let you know who wins. And I can't wait for this week to get going. Had a bunch of people in the live streams ask how they can follow up with all the trades, power rankings, records of the league, points against, points for, the whole 9 yards. I'm going to leave the sleeper league ID down in the comment section and the description of this video. If you copy and paste that sleeper league ID to the My Teams page on flockfantasy.com, when you just go hit add a league, hit add sleeper, copy and paste the league ID there, you should be able to see all the up-to-date trades, records, power rankings, points for, points against, winning streaks, losing streaks for everybody in the league. And yeah, you can follow along. Should take you 20 seconds. I'll leave that sleeper league ID down in the description comment section. Really appreciate you, and we'll see you next week after I give Sal a little spanking.